What's up? Jim here, and welcome back to J Street Moto. Welcome to the channel if it's your first time. Thanks for stopping by and watching. This helmet, the Sena Outrush R Bluetooth modular helmet. I've had it almost a year. So I figured now would be a good time to kind of review the helmet itself, tell you guys what I think about it. Actually, I'm going to talk about what I don't like first. So, probably my biggest, I won't even say complaint, but my biggest hang-up with this helmet is you do not have the option for a pen lock in this helmet on the visor. Might not be a big deal. I haven't found that it's that big a deal to me. It is. It sort of has its own. It sort of has something that's similar to a pen lock, meaning you can have the visor fully closed and it's not locked closed. It's still got a little gap there that allows air in, or you can close it all the way. When you do that, there's no air getting in the helmet. In a way, it sort of has its own pen lock built in, but you know, that's one of the things that I dislike about it. I do notice when I'm riding for really long periods of time, especially in inclement weather, think rain, cold rain especially, I find that the inside of the visor just can't handle it. I end up having to, throw the visor up to allow cold air to get on it and clear the fog away and then shut it when I'm riding in circumstances like that. Any other time when the visor's shut, as long as I'm moving and air's flowing through the helmet, it doesn't fog up on me. And I know there's other things you can use. I have not tried to put any kind of anti-fog shit on the visor or any of that. But yeah, so that's the first thing that is kind of I won't even say it's a disappointment. It's just something that I would expect to have in a helmet. However, keep in mind that one of the reasons I bought this helmet is it's extremely budget friendly. I think when I bought it, I paid maybe $240 for it. I don't know. I did an unboxing video of this one. Yeah, that's the first thing that I don't like about it is the pen lock, or the inability to have a pen lock. The second thing would be ventilation. The helmet does a decent job. It's got two primary vents, one at the chin strap and one up here on top. It does a decent job of pulling air through the helmet. You really notice it when the weather's cooler. When it's hot, it honestly doesn't feel like there's any air moving through the helmet. So that's the other thing. It could use a couple of other vents. It does have two passive vents in the back that just kind of allow air in and to flow through, but it's not that big a deal. I've ridden with it in very hot temperatures, and it's not super noticeable. But that is one other thing that I would say kind of negative about the helmet itself. Let's talk about the positives. The seal on the chin strap, when you close this helmet, is, the helmet is secure. It feels like I'm wearing a true full. It honestly does. So yeah, I dig how secure the chin strap is. I really like the fact that this helmet has the ability to lock the chin strap open. Lock it all the way back. And you can lock it open with this folded all the way up. And because you can lock it open, you can ride with this helmet down the road with your chin strap completely up and ride it like a 3/4 helmet. I've ridden that way a couple times with it. Surprisingly, the aerodynamics work out. It does not jerk your head around as much as you would think it would. But it definitely is more comfortable to ride it with the chin strap down. If you need air, just flip the visor up. Third thing I like, and I cannot discount this one bit at all, the setup they have for the communication system. Now, I'll give you one more thing I don't like. When I was looking at this helmet originally, certain versions of it, earlier versions of it, I should say, the Sena Bluetooth module was capable of picking up FM radio signals. This one is not. The newer versions of the helmet, they eliminated that feature, And I didn't know that when I bought it. So I bought it thinking I'm going to be able to, listen to FM radio when I'm out running around and taking trips and shit. If for some reason I get an area where I lose data and I can't listen to music, I could at least throw on radio station. But no, that doesn't work in this helmet. So if you're in the market for this helmet, you see that as one of the features for it, just know the newer versions of it do not have that feature. So don't buy it because of that, in other words. But let's talk about the communications. This module works really good. And now, I know communication systems are a preference, right? You got a lot of choices out there. If I was buying a helmet that didn't already have Bluetooth in it, I'd probably be going with a Cardo system because I like the idea of a mesh network where I can have, where I can be actively participating in the conversation with several different people at the same time. I like that. I do. This device does not allow that. This device allows you to connect to up to 3 other people, but you have to cycle through which one you want to interrupt and talk to. So, but the communication system works really well. It's got a very good range on it. I've made several phone calls through it, and people, when I'm talking to them on the phone, they can't even tell that I am on a motorcycle. This is, by the way, this communication system, this Bluetooth, the mic, I use that to connect to my phone, and I record my vlogs this way. This is how I do it. So it works good for that. Another thing I'll say is I really like the microphone. And specifically, I like how short the boom is on the microphone. The boom on this communication device inside the helmet puts the microphone approximately right here, which is at the corner of my mouth instead of right in front of it. That helps a whole lot when you're talking on the phone or when you're talking to people or recording a vlog or doing something like that, with keeping the wind noise out of the microphone or your breath, right? Yeah, it keeps that out of there. My last helmet, the boom put the mic right in front of my mouth, like basically right under your damn nose in the middle of your mouth. And it made it hard to, made it harder to communicate in a clear fashion. The speakers in the helmet are pretty decent, considering it came built into the helmet, right? So the speakers are pretty good. I have zero problem listening to music on them. They do have, while the speakers are good, they're not, they don't offer a lot of bass, but I haven't seen or heard a single communication setup that goes inside a helmet that does a decent job of bass in music. So it's not a deal breaker for me. I like the fact that you can get it in either a denim or a flat finish, or you can get it in a shiny finish. I like that. I prefer the matte. All my helmets are matte. I just prefer that look. So yeah, but you do have some selections there. I do like the fact that you can also buy different visors for it. You can buy ones that are tinted. I have not yet found one that is mirrored. That's what I'm really looking for, because I'd like to have a mirrored visor. On the visor topic, that's another thing I like about the helmet. While it does not allow for a pin lock, I will say this. The ability to take this visor off and put it back on without any tools is pretty freaking cool. I like it. And when we were coming back from Nova Scotia, if you watched any of those videos, one of the days on our return trip, we ran into some really horrible weather. We were in rain for, I don't know, let's call it 6.5, 7 hours. We were riding through rain. So when I got to the hotel that night, one of the things I really wanted to do, because I kept having to flip my visor up to clear off the fog, that got raindrops on the visor and road grime and everything else. I have to shut it. It'd be clean, it'd be fogless for a little while, and then I'd have to lift it again. So one of the things I wanted to do in the hotel when we got there was clean the visor, and cleaning it on the inside is impossible without taking it off. And I was really surprised, and that's the first time I'd taken the visor off the helmet. I was really surprised at how easy it was to get it off and back on. It's really simple. It's a couple of buttons on each side, and it pops off. And then you push those couple buttons in and push it back in, and it goes back on. That's one thing that I like about it. I do like the fact that this one comes stock or standard with a quick release for your helmet strap instead of having to, fish it through D-rings. You just put it on and plug it in after you get it set up for, how big or how, what size you need it there. I will say this also, the helmet is true to size. So I bought the helmet, I sized the helmet based on the sizing chart they had, where I ordered it, and it fit perfectly. I do have what I would consider, or what helmet manufacturers would consider, I have sort of an oval head. So, just as a point of reference, and this helmet works pretty good on an oval head. Drop-down visor. How you actuate the drop-down visor in here, the sun shield, way easier to activate it and deactivate it than the one on my built helmet. That one was always kind of challenging. But, this one I don't have that problem with. It's just a little slider on the side of the helmet over here. Push it one way to drop the visor, push it another way to pull the visor up. It doesn't get much simpler than that. The inside of this helmet is extremely comfortable. The padding, the cloth, the fabric they're using on top of the padding, how thick the pads are, how easily the pads form to your head and face. All of those things are, I would grade them, an 8 out of 10 with this helmet, maybe even a 9 out of 10. Just because I never give anybody a perfect score. There's no reason to. There's always room for improvement. But these pads are amazing. The helmet feels wonderful when you're wearing it. It's easy to take the pads out to clean them. I really can't say anything bad about it. Another thing I'll say about the helmet itself, it is, for those of you that wear fulls most of the time, it can be a challenge to talk to the people that are next to you. You kind of have to yell and shit. What I will say is this helmet, you can, as long as you've got the music turned down, you can hear pretty good when people are talking to you. And it appears to me, at least, that they can hear me pretty well when I'm talking to them without lifting the chin strap. So, for what it's worth, that's something that's kind of a little extra bonus, right? I primarily wear this helmet when the weather is bad, meaning rain or cold, or when I'm going out and recording a vlog for the channel. It honestly is the first full helmet that I've owned that I would consider getting rid of my brain bucket and just wearing this all the time. It is that comfortable of a helmet, and it's that functional of a helmet. I can't get past. I like my face being exposed to the wind, so I prefer little half helmets, especially if I'm going to be riding for a really long period of time. But this is a helmet that potentially would make me change how I feel about that and go to a full all the time. I've told you just about all I can tell you about this helmet. Hopefully, it helps you make a decision if you're in the market looking for one. I hope you're getting out and riding. I hope that you are, if you're not able to ride because of the weather in your area, I really hope that you're thinking about or planning where you're going to go ride when the weather improves. And hopefully you're getting out there and, you're making some plans to do some decent trips. Thanks again for watching. Always ride safe.
Yeah, ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Ah.
Asshole.
Really? Peace out, bitches!